Jordan Peterson is an infamous member of self-help and psychology circles. He's known as the Dude Bro psychologist, promoting a hyper-masculine and controversial understanding of life that, in our opinion, sets the world back thousands of years. His recent comments regarding actor Elliot Page have taken things too far. In this video, we're going to talk about how, hopefully, this is the final nail in his coffin and he's finally become irrelevant. First, let's talk about why Jordan Peterson is so controversial. It's a well-known fact that Peterson holds some incredibly controversial opinions, having previously declared that there's an ongoing masculinity crisis, under which the masculine spirit is under assault. Wait, what? Is Jordan Peterson a synonym for patriarchal misinformation? He goes on to say that order is masculine, while chaos is feminine. And as philosophy nerds out there know, this follows a similar thread first introduced by the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who believed that husbands should exert rule and order over their wives, who he saw as impulsive, compassionate, and deceptive. Peterson's ideology can be seen as a massive oversimplification of this, just creating binaries that support patriarchal thought. To make matters worse, Peterson is also a climate change denier. Yeah, let that sink in for a moment. Someone who was taught at Harvard, has a PhD, and is incredibly influential thinks that climate change is a hoax. He has even appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast and claimed that there's no such thing as climate, and is skeptical of the science that goes into tracking and calculating climate change because apparently it's too ideologically biased for him to believe. Wow, we truly have no words. Now let's move toward his recent faux pas and how that may signal an end to his career. Fans of the Umbrella Academy and most internet users out there are already well aware of Elliot Page coming out as non-binary and transgender recently. The typically low-profile actor keeps to himself, focusing on his art and work rather than getting involved in the lives of others. And we say all the power to him. This same can't be said for Jordan Peterson, who unfortunately needs to give his opinions on everything in a sorry attempt to remain relevant. A few days ago, Peterson used the social media platform Twitter to deadname, misgender, and claim that Page had his breasts removed by a criminal physician. This stems from the fact that Peterson believes that Page's decision to do so is unnatural, because transitioning and making moves to feel comfortable in your own skin are wrong in Peterson's eyes. It gets even worse, because after Peterson posted said tweet, his account was suspended because it went against Twitter community guidelines. Instead of deleting his tweet or even apologizing, Peterson doubled down on what he had to say by going on a deranged tirade on Instagram, where he said he would rather die than do that. This just keeps getting better, doesn't it? Next, let's talk about the reaction to his insane tweet. Did Elliot Page have anything to say? Jordan Peterson faced intense and immediate backlash from trans activists and everyone with half a functioning brain, and a lot of people began to ridicule his Instagram rant by clipping parts of it and making it into a meme. We think that takes a lot of power away from him and reduces the importance of his words, but at the same time, it gives the psychologist a lot more attention and validation, giving him greater internet clout than he honestly needs or deserves. At the same time, though, Peterson had his supporters. His daughter, Michaela Peterson, attacked Twitter's decision to remove his account as an attack on free speech, arguing that by silencing a rich white man is a form of oppression, especially when he's attacking the decisions and choices that others have made concerning their bodies. The logic in this family never fails to astound us. Like father, like daughter. Peterson was also supported by a right-wing contemporary of his, Dave Rubin, who posted a screenshot of Peterson's tweet to his account. This action backfired on him because his account was suspended shortly after, unless of course he deleted the tweet. So Rubin caved and deleted the tweet. But what about the person at whom the tweet was directed? Did Page have anything to say? Luckily, he's keeping out of this and not sinking to Peterson's level by deigning his crude comments with response or acknowledgement. Instead, he's busy promoting the new season and his transition storyline in the Umbrella Academy. And we don't know about anyone else, but we're really looking forward to binging it soon. Up next, what does all of this mean? Is this important, or can we just pretend that Jordan Peterson doesn't exist? Well, yes and no. It's easy to ignore Peterson and pretend that he's just an old man shooting his mouth off, and so we can make fun of him, or actively work to not listen or read what he has to say. But at the same time, if we do that, we don't solve the root of the Peterson problem and why he's so popular. Jordan Peterson is able to connect with large parts of the population that feel disconnected and lost in a culture and environment that is constantly changing and evolving. He uses the traditional logic of discipline and conventional gender roles, searching for a lost masculinity that apparently only Peterson can find and identify. In doing so, he has created a following of people people who are just looking for some definition in their lives. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He represents an unethical point of view but looks cool and well-dressed doing it. He has the perfect family, and he has grandchildren, and all of these outer layers make it seem as though what he has to offer and what he believes in are okay. And if anyone out there wants the same things, they can. And they can also hold controversial and bigoted opinions. This seems like a great package, and so Peterson has a lot of fans. But that's what makes matters worse. By allowing Peterson to preserve and promote his celebrity status, he's able to influence most of the people he speaks to. We heard a few of his talks, and as much as we hate to admit it, the guy is pretty convincing. He knows how to talk and he knows exactly what to say. And what makes him so successful is the fact that he doesn't use big words or a lot of jargon, because that's what a lot of anti-Peterson left-leaning scholars do. They alienate potential supporters and allies because of the complicated intellectual theory that they promote. Peterson appeals to the masses because he distances himself from that, creating a down-to-earth, man-of-the-people personality that helps make him out to be a better, more understandable, and convincing choice in comparison to them. And now, what does all of this mean? Has Jordan Peterson been canceled? Well, not quite. The internet psychologist still has a pretty sizable fan following, both online and in person. Not only is that because of the way he appeals to his audience super effectively, we might add, but also because he uses anger in a way that looks attractive and appealing. It's a weird situation, but putting all bias aside, Peterson knows how to work for a crowd. In addition to this, Peterson has also signed an exclusive deal with a right-wing news outlet, The Daily Wire. He will be working with them at The Daily Wire Plus, which now has exclusive rights to the Jordan B. Peterson podcast, with bonus content per episode and subscriber-only specials with Peterson and other special guests. This is all part of his plan to move away from traditional media to more digital platforms. In Peterson's words, it's time for a new adventure for him, as he bids goodbye to teaching. And finally, another controversial opinion is held by Peterson. This time, it is geopolitical. In a think piece for The Daily Wire, Jordan Peterson declared that Russia and its leader, Putin, are justifying the invasion of Ukraine as an attempt to cull the spread of American degeneracy through their gender-focused culture wars. This seems like a mouthful, but basically, Peterson broke this weird idea down by arguing that American culture, because of the influence that trans rights and gender theory have had on it, is degenerate, and Putin, and therefore by extension Russia, is aware of that. And in order to prevent that from spreading to a Russian sphere of influence, Ukraine, Russia invaded. Yeah, it still doesn't make sense to us. These ideas come from someone who continues to face backlash over his comments about Elliot Page and his refusal to apologize for them. To add fuel to the fire, Peterson actually claimed that the actor's transition to male was responsible for converting children into transgenders. Someone get this dude basic biology and genetics lessons as soon as possible, because the stuff he says about the body and people's decisions to change their body according to their personal wishes just doesn't make sense. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think? Was this Peterson's last hurrah, or is there more in store, both for us and the psychologist? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.